I'm almost an XL.
Oh yeah. Fuck.
I'm just starting to get comfortable in large.
You went down.
I did a bit. Yeah.
Good.
Well, that's good because I'm actually planning on ordering some EXP t-shirts from the marketing center. So
Cool.
Cool.
I'll get you guys some. They're a good price.
A radon.
And it says it has the glass door. People are happy to work here kind of thing on the back.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, check it out. Check it out.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to part one of
What was that?
Chicken. Part one of two of The Effective Executive by Monsieur F. Drucker. Peter F. Drucker. A book that we found out about by Timothy Ferris. So thank you for that recommendation, Mr. Ferris.
I could see the correlation between this and the 4-hour work week and
He's all
the
about
rest of
being efficient, right?
yeah.
Well, I mean, even he touched on during World War II, the guy that could only work a couple hours every other day, and he was super efficient.
It's not the first time I see that name there, the fella who was put in office by Kennedy.
Okay.
What's his name again?
Marshall?
He worked, is that it? He worked at Ford, and then he was just placed into the office.
Sloan?
Sloan? Is that it?
I think
Yeah.
it was. Yeah.
Yeah, the guy had no freaking background of politics, but killed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know the GM executive, I believe his name was Sloan.
Sloan.
So in this week, we'll discuss the first 3 chapters from page 1 to 70. Chapter 1 is Effectiveness Can Be Learned. Number 2 is Know Thy Time.
Yeah.
Time management.
And, 3
Number 3 is all about effective meetings or something like that.
Meetings
They do
are the
talk
worst.
about the meetings.
What can I contribute to my team? Or what can I contribute
Is that what the chapter's called?
Yeah.
What can I contribute?
Yeah.
That was a good one. That was the best one, I think.
So far I'm really enjoying this book. How are you feeling about it?
It's I like it a lot more than Spark. It's definitely well, for me anyway, I think it's better. We just talked about this, you and I.
Yeah, me, it's the reverse.
I liked it, especially like I had a conversation with our lovely Rahel, and then I started reading the book, and it was like, you know, in the moment, like it was perfect for our conversation.
It's funny how it usually applies to what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I think the mind just works that way.
Yeah, and this is good. Like, it's a good book for either you're an employee, a boss, or you're flipping burgers, or you're delivering pizza, or you're you own a construction company. This book is for everyone, really. So when I first saw the title, The Effective Executive, I was like, there you go, cigar smoking, whiskey drinking, wife beating, fuck.
What?
You know what I mean? Madman type.
It's Don Draper.
Yeah.
You see?
I'm depressed. Shut up.
So efficiency and efficace, efficient. What are the words in English?
Efficient?
Efficient and effective are different things,
yes.
right? So you can be efficient without being effective. So you can do something very...
I thought he said it's the same thing in there.
You could have an efficient... You can have an... No, it's not the same thing. One is like producing with little resources. The other one is the outcome, like it produces.
Yeah.
So it's a hard concept to explain.
I mean, we could flip through the pages and reread what he said.
Because you could be efficient and have a terrible outcome.
You could have an efficient furnace in your basement that's burning all the fuel and not, letting any heat go. But if you don't have the ductwork in place, then it's not effective.
Exactly. It's very good.
Powerful stuff there.
Yeah, I think that's a good analogy for it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for watching, guys.
That's it.
I'm out.
Cool. So effectiveness is a trait that can be learned, according to the author. I find myself a lot of times in my business coming into the office, then 8 hours later, 10 hours later, leave and like think back on my day and be like, what the hell did I work on today?
Yeah,
That's
there's
me
a lot
every
of
day.
time wasting in our
So there's
field.
a few things that he talks about here. Factors that pushes the executive to not produce efficient results through his actions. Number one, his time is everyone else's.
Yeah.
So phone rings, it's an employee, it's a client, and they're gonna cut into your time.
Yeah, but you went through that, and
Oh, yeah.
it made you go crazy. Well, not crazy, but made you sick,
Hey man,
In the head.
right?
it's okay.
Like everyone was
I was wearing that tutu for 2 days.
what? What are you talking about?
I went crazy, like Jim Carrey.
Oh yeah. Cool. No, but I meant like, you were running the team of a lot of people under you,
Yeah.
and everyone was yanking on your schedule, pulling you
But
in every
that's-
direction.
To me, that's inexperience on my part, sort of not protecting my time. And
Did you see yourself often while reading the first 3 chapters?
I think, yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
I can definitely relate to number one, why executives are not efficient, and your time does belong to everybody else, which makes it a great advantage to get up at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
because
well,
nobody else is up.
you can wake
right?
up at 5,
Yeah, I was listening.
Fucking 4 a.m.
There's a good video on YouTube. I forget the guy's name, but I'll find it. And he talks about, the advantages of waking up early, and he tried it for 30 days. It's quite interesting.
Yeah, but you have to be able to go to bed early.
Yes. And he
Were
talks
you up
about
at 4
that.
this morning?
No, because we had a podcast till 12. And
yeah.
he talks about that. That's a rule of thumb that, he likes to get up at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
But if his wife wants to go out for a drink or, share a few glasses of wine and watch a movie at night, he won't shut her down.
And you have to plan for it, too. Like, you have to plan,
Yeah.
like, tonight I'm going to bed early.
Well,
'Cause I
and
wanna-
if you consider when this was written, and then you consider what we went over in Spark and digital minimalism, they've discussed how certain people are more efficient
Yeah.
in the afternoons, like different
Yeah.
chronotypes.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
For sure. It's funny because we did a podcast last night, and all 3 books were brought up in conversation.
Did he leave with those books?
Yeah, he did. Why'd you do that? They're not coming back. These books are not coming back.
No.
books never get returned.
Well, I'm not going to drive out there and knock on his door and give him my freaking books.
Sorry.
Were they mine?
They were both yours. I made sure of it. Well, he's your friend. I don't see the guy. Sorry.
That's all good.
That was a oopsies.
You have them on Audible.
Yeah. Well,
You're good now.
actually, if they do to him what they did to us,
Yep.
so be it. They were
Okay.
good books. But anyways,
Numero 2.
yeah.
Why?
Oh wait,
time?
hold on. Are you going through chapter?
I'm just going through the 4 factors that pushes executives
Okay,
to
sorry.
not be efficient.
Because there's the 8 practices of effective executives.
So number 2
But
in
that
this.
was before that, I think.
Yeah, we'll just go through this list and
Yeah.
then we'll go to the.
I was just trying to understand if we were looking at the same thing. I was like, fuck, I have 8. It's okay, go.
Numero 2. They can't quit technical work since that's what they did coming up. I don't think that's the word he used, but if you're a plumber and you're working hard on your plumbing business, showing off your butt crack every day and
Serious business.
some serious business, and then you get up to a point where you have 10, 12 plumbers, you'll be able to manage
That's a lot
it.
of cracks.
That's a lot of cracks.
That's a lot of cracks.
And you'll never be very efficient because you'll always be out in the field, tightening those pipes. And
I remember working in construction. This guy was like a real hard ass, a real prick. And he was a plumber. And me and some friends coworkers and friends were working in the house. And this guy just bends over to like work under some framing type and trying to do his plumbing job. The guy was wearing a fucking thong.
No.
Since then, I was like...
The guy that was a hard ass?
Yeah, the guy that was a hard ass was wearing a thong.
Simon's boss.
Yeah. You remember that?
I remember that story.
So this guy, I'll tell you who it is after, but
that's okay.
I think you know his son.
Yeah. Jesus.
But it was like, fuck you. Fucking, you're no hard ass.
Maybe if he wore more comfortable underwear, he'd be friendlier.
Well, maybe they are comfortable. I don't know. I wouldn't know.
Maybe.
Moving on.
I feel like my butt would chafe.
We'll try it out next podcast. See how it goes.
As an executive, you do have to disconnect yourself from a lot of the hands-on.
Mm-hmm.
Delegation.
That's not something that I'm ready to do as an executive.
Yeah, a lot of it, but not all of it.
No, but you're doing coaching.
I am.
Which is...
But to be truly efficient...
Another dimension.
I should probably look at giving up real estate sales at some point.
Well, like to do what?
To do more coaching. To do more, executive stuff.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I would love to manage just rentals, like passive income.
Yeah.
And it's tough for executives to do that because that's the work that they did coming up,
Mm-hmm.
Number 3. His results only manifest through other people's actions.
Sorry, repeat that?
His results only manifest through other people's actions. So you could be effective yourself,
This is very true.
but if you're not very good at motivating people or you're not very good at getting your communication, then you're gonna suffer.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the part that reminds me of when he would ask executives what they thought their most important skill was.
Yeah.
And none of them would ever actually say that it was to, instead of just telling people what to do, it was to kind of encourage other managers to do the right thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
The knowledge worker.
Yes. That was an interesting...
So you talked about 4 practices?
Concept.
Yeah, the 4th one is he's within an organization that has other departments. So he could get, a really efficient...
Furnace.
Yeah, that's a good example. He could be designing the best furnace in the world, but the guy that is putting up the ductwork sucks.
That's good.
So yeah, that was on page 10, and those are the 4 factors of the that what makes executives unproductive or inefficient.
I love that analogy. I'm going to totally steal that furnace.
Yeah.
It's
it
good.
makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's a good, you could apply that to real estate.
Yeah. It's perfect.
Listing your house is like having a good furnace.
Yeah.
Without realtor, it's like you have no ductwork.
Yeah.
Huh. So I guess that came after, page 10, because right off the get-go, he starts with 8 practices of effective executives, like questions to ask yourself as an executive. So real quick, they ask what needs to be done. It's real simple. They ask what is right for the enterprise. They develop action plans. They take responsibility for decisions. They take responsibility for communicating. They are focused on opportunities rather than problems. I thought that was pretty cool, but how do you do that, really?
I think
a client calls you and she's yelling at you. You're like, what's the opportunity here? So I don't know how that would go about. But
well, I think this book's more about, if you're a manager and you have other people that can handle these things, you would focus specifically on opportunities and then disseminate the problems to others.
For me, I'm trying to stay away from thinking this book is just for the big guy on top, because he talks about as well being the employee and running your job like you're making executive decisions. One thing that's really cool too, and we're trying to do, is run productive meetings. We have a schedule to follow.
True.
And we try to stick to it, and it makes our meetings effective, efficient, and quick. And this one is really important. And this I remember when I worked for my uncle. He would always show up on the job site and say to the client, I did this, I will do that, I brought this here, see this, I did that. And the whole time it's like, you little, you know, you just showed up. I busted my ass for a week doing this job, and you're saying I. It's we. You know what I mean?
Throwing your uncle under the bus there.
Well, no, it's just it's. We laughed about it
Yeah.
a few times, but he would always talk like that, and it's just one of many examples. Like I've had other bosses. Like when I worked at Giant Tiger, like it was always like a place like Giant Tiger or Jacques Couture, like the pharmacy. That's very team oriented. It's we, us. It's like a big, well-oiled machine to make things go well. You know?
Giant Tiger is a very well-run company, actually.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But the importance of saying we, you know?
We know a few people at the headquarters.
Yeah.
Giant Tiger.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, and
Some
Peter,
efficient executives.
yeah, Peter Drucker adds a 9th one, and it's listen first, speak last, which super important, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Listening is a lost art.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Unless you're doing
Especially-
like we're doing and download the audibles.
Yeah, but I mean, like, especially in like a top-down organization,
Yeah.
where there's a management hierarchy.
Yeah.
I've experienced it myself quite a bit in the government, and
Right.
Especially in the government, the meetings thing that will kill you. It like the meaningless meetings. I remember we used to have,
You know what I wrote down here?
in another organization I used to be a part of, we would have meetings about meetings
Oh,
about
fuck.
meetings.
Yeah, I wrote,
literally 3 tiers down.
I find that a lot of organizations, whether they're government, municipalities, or bigger corporations, they get hung up on over analyzing everything.
Yep.
And
Meetings. Michael Scott reminded me of Michael Scott
Yes.
in The Office.
Yes.
Having meetings just for the hell of it.
100%.
Yeah.
Exactly.
like that Ottawa light rail transit.
Yeah.
How many studies did they do?
How many meetings?
Can you
How
imagine what the OC Transpo meetings must be like?
Oh my God, man!
That's a well-oiled machine though. Like that's amongst
been
the
around.
best
Too much oil,
bus
if anything.
route.
They do.
company.
It is rated quite high.
It is. Why are you laughing? It is. I mean,
They just missed their 4th deadline.
They have their problems, but I mean, from what I hear, it's amongst the best in Canada.
To be fair,
apparently.
they're running a huge scale operation. Absolutely.
Maybe they're not. Maybe we're full of shit. I
I
have to
heard-
Google it, but I heard that somewhere.
On page number
It's a
16,
good beat.
we're going to take a little detour from the main message of the book and just reflect on the fact that this book was written in 1966.
Yeah, sexist Peter Drucker.
Motherfucker.
Whoa!
Uh,
Is he still alive?
No, he died in he died in 2005 at the
Oh.
age of 96.
You're
From
good
what?
Too much drinking and smoking.
Yeah, too many women in the workplace.
Yeah, he got beat up by a mob of women.
No, it's interesting to read his point of view because he kept saying like he, him, and I was like, when was this book written? This would not fly. Yeah.
But you could translate everything and put
Of
she
course,
and her. And
of course.
Now it's them, I believe.
And all his examples are
That's
from
they
World
and
War
them.
II. Jesus.
But I mean, yeah, generals, they were pretty much all men back then. So
Yeah.
So it's a sign of the times. And Think and Grow Rich was written the same way
Yeah.
in 1920.
Yeah, but I had the newer version.
Yes,
It was a
the
little bit
update.
more sensitive to the.
Yeah, but they have examples of Arnold, and I don't know if you remember that in the updated
Yeah.
version.
Yeah.
So yeah, it makes more sense.
They should do a new version and put like Arlene Dickinson in there or something. I like that
Yeah.
woman. She's a fucking
Honestly,
she's a real
though,
dragon.
I'm a big fan of Arnold, and if you look at his history, that guy is an executive. He
Yeah.
is.
He comes everywhere.
Well, so when he first moved here,
Did you
when
see
he
that?
first moved to California, it was right after the earthquakes.
Oh yeah.
California had some huge earthquakes, and then him and another fellow bodybuilder, who also took it pretty far,
Cleared the streets of all debris.
No, they started a bricklaying company, and they made
Oh, shit.
millions
No way.
because everything needed to be rebuilt.
Oh yeah. Huh.
So that's like, talk about efficiency right there.
Yeah. Did you see his his famous movie or documentary And he's like, "Oh, I'm pumping iron at the gym. I feel like I'm coming out of
Yeah,
time."
I play that clip all the time for my buddies. They've never heard it. And I was like, "You haven't heard this? I was like, you gotta listen to this."
Yeah, no, it's pretty good. What's it called? Something iron.
Pumping iron.
Pumping iron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting back to the point that I
Yeah.
wanted to make, this book being written in 1966, there's a paragraph here that really struck me as, a sign of the times, and I wanted to talk about it with you guys. So page number 16 at the top. This danger is being aggravated today by the advent of the computer machine and of the new information technology. The computer, being a mechanical moron, can handle only quantifiable data.
You're the moron,
So
Peter.
These
that
it
brings
can
us to Spark.
these it can handle with speed, accuracy, and precision. It will therefore grind out hitherto unattainable quantified information in large volume. One can, however, by a large quantity, quantify only what goes on inside an organization. Cost and production figures, patient statistics in the hospital, or training reports. The relevant outside events are rarely available in quantifiable form until it's much too late to do anything about them.
Digital minimalism.
So they thought that the computer was a mechanical moron, and we can think about today, and I think that they still are.
Mm-hmm.
They gotten a hell of a lot faster,
Yeah.
but they can't handle perception. They can't handle, empathy yet.
There's no human factor.
Yeah, exactly. And that's essentially what makes businesses tick, is identifying trends even before they hit.
Yep.
Right?
So here's a quote relating to that. The more we automate information handling, well, relating to that, it's just a quote I quoted. The more we automate information handling, the more we'll have to create opportunities for effective communication. Don't ever do that again. I thought that was really powerful because, everything is just so easy. And we had that conversation with our friend who's a teacher yesterday, how kids are just communicating with, Messenger and stuff like that.
Yep.
And they're like all awkward between each other. So.
You know what? That would have a big impact on it for
Yeah.
sure. That's true. I didn't think of that.
So it makes our lives easier, but then what about communication?
They're not
like
learning
face-to-face communication.
Yeah, they're not learning social skills.
Not as well, differently.
Hmm.
I wouldn't say they're not learning it; they're just learning it differently. But the face-to-face is still
They're learning it through emojis.
it's always going to be important. Yeah.
So you guys think that the computer is making today's executives more powerful?
It can be, yeah, definitely. For sure, hands down. Like, there's no doubt about it, but just...
Yeah, in certain ways, for sure. And then I
Have to
think in other
adapt.
ways, it's dumbing them down. But I think if you look at, just look at Trump and Twitter,
Yeah.
Oh,
He can communicate with more people.
yeah. Propaganda's easier.
Yeah. Can share his silly messages.
yeah.
Nonsensical. But yeah, there is more power in technology now.
Yeah.
But you still need that executive behind it.
It would be interesting to see this book written with knowing that with what today's technology is like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think the message would change much.
No?
No. We got a new member to the book club.
We were talking about Alfred Sloan earlier, and Know Thy Time. So they're explaining how he would never make an executive personnel decision.
Yeah. I like
the
that
first time it came up, so he would take some time to think about it, a few weeks. So if he had to fire or promote or place someone somewhere else in the company, if the name would come up 2-3 times, then he knew, okay, that's the right person to put in place. So
Yeah.
he would always take time to make important decisions. I think that's like
And usually the first name that
Key.
came up wasn't the right one.
exactly. So he
Yeah.
was aware of that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like that part.
yeah, for sure. No, it's good so far. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Want to move on to the second chapter, Know Thy Time?
that was it. That was there. That was in it.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Cool. Other topics that you guys noticed in that book?
Effective executives start with their time, not with their tasks.
Yeah.
So the 3-step process. So they're saying record your time. I know you did that for a little while, where you would take note of what you were doing every hour of the day.
Yeah.
But they're saying to do this 6 to 8 weeks in a row.
Oh, I'm scared to do that. I don't
hey,
even want to know.
Man, that's like, and then manage your time, then consolidate your time.
So I'm down for running that exercise again. I like to run it a few times a year.
Yeah.
And maybe we can all share.
I'll be honest, I don't think I'll last 6 to 8 weeks.
Oh, I'm talking about one day.
Yeah, one day. Yeah.
So the exercise goes like this. Every 15 minutes, you have a timer that goes off on your phone. And after it goes off, you write down exactly what you did. I hopped on Facebook. I went on YouTube. Went to the bathroom, grabbed a glass of water. I sat down to make some follow-up calls. I made a total of 0 calls.
Mm-hmm.
Then you reset the timer. Another 15 minutes. It's freaking annoying.
Every 15 minutes?
That's the exercise.
What if you're driving?
Well, then...
You would put driving.
Yeah, you would put the driving.
The driving.
But this is an exercise that was first introduced to me by...
Imagine you die that day. The last thing you did was jerk off, and like 11:59.
You probably choose not to jerk off on that day because you wouldn't want to have to write it down.
I think it depends what ails you. But
Oh, wow. Crash and die. Well, it looks like this guy was
driving and jerking off.
busting it up while driving around.
What the... That was weird.
Wow.
So that was an exercise I found in Darren Hardy's compound effect.
Oh yeah.
And I try to go through that exercise a few times a year. There's a lot of knowledge. That
You read a lot of books.
Just that many as you. We're in the same book club.
It's because a lot of the time I'll read something and I'm like, this guy's already doing it. Fucking read the book already.
Yeah.
You liar.
Did we touch on systematic time management?
Not yet. No.
No,
Not
eh?
there yet, no.
So identify what's not contributing and cut it out. That's number 1. There's 3 things.
Yeah.
Number 2, what am I doing now that would be done better by someone else?
Yeah.
So delegation. And number 3, what do I do now that wastes my team's time around me? And
So-
that could be a sobering
Yeah, and that's
question.
the conversation I had with Rahel. I said that's very relevant of what we talked about.
Yeah.
And it's good for you and I to ask her once in a while, like, what can I do to help you?
Rahel, you should be on this podcast.
I know. It's very
Yeah.
relevant.
You're kind of the executive here.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it.
No, but it's true. Like sometimes, we'll ask her to do something for us, and if you take a step back, it's like, well, if I do it, she can be doing something else, and I should be doing that because it's kind of ridiculous to ask her to do it. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, we just get comfortable and forget. So yeah,
True.
that's it. And then I wrote meetings. Michael Scott.
Maybe Rahel needs an admin.
Yeah.
At some point, yeah, for sure.
Oh,
I mean-
we can get you like a little sidekick,
No,
and make her cards that says
okay.
administrative assistant to the administrative assistant
Effective executive.
to the.
That's like Inception.
That's like it's like The Office.
Yeah.
There is one.
Well, Dwight. He's
Assistant to the general manager. or something?
assistant to the original.
Yeah,
to the
gotcha.
original manager. Anyways.
Cool. Well,
Poor Dwight.
we lost steam on this one.
Okay, well, do you want to end on this?
Let's talk about chapter number 3.
Yeah, so
Um,
page 64.
Okay.
The focus on contribution supplies 4 basic requirements of human relations: communications, teamwork, self-development, development of others. So, yeah. That's what I wrote.
It's good just to go through this chapter called What Can I Contribute?
Yeah,
And sort of really reflect on that question.
yeah,
And what can I do to help my team even more?
yeah.
And I'm thinking about our team meetings, and it's good that we're consistent. We're having them, but I find that every week we should have some type of training.
Well, we try.
We try, but it should be, more systematic. That every single week there's like a training component, and if we can be efficient, we can pull lessons from the book club and put them into the team meetings.
Yeah, for sure.
Makes sense.
Cool.
Okay, guys. Anything else to add on this book before we wrap up this week?
Nope. Read to the end.
Read to the end, chapter 4 through 8. And before we let you go today, I wanted to talk about the plum card provided by Chapters or Indigo, Coles, and Indigo.ca. It's $39.99, and with it you get a $20 discount from Chapters.ca or Indigo.ca, and they're really trying to encourage members to go online, shop for books. You save 10% right off the bat. Every $50 you spend, you get 5 points, which is good for $5. So if you're going to be buying a lot of books, you'll be saving a shit ton of money just by supporting Indigo. I'm deciding to support them because I love going into Chapters.
No.
I love the easiness of hopping on Amazon.ca.com and ordering a book, but I would never want to lose that, real library that we can go to, go see the books, read a few books,
Absolutely.
So for that reason, I purchased a Plum Plus card.
My girlfriend loves their home decor stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
cool. It's a nice store.
Yeah.
I like it.
Too many candles.
And
Just give it up with the candles. You know what I mean? There's candles everywhere.
It's
Look at this gorgeous candle.
look at this candle. Oh, look at this fabric. It's so nice.
Cool. Legales. Legali.
On y va. Okay. All right.
Bye.